Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to Backtrack Cinema. In this video today, we'll be ranking all 17 kills in the Psycho franchise. So pop some popcorn, get a drink, and let's talk some Psycho. What's going on everyone? My name is Jason. Welcome back to Backtrack Cinema. Today we're going through all 17 kills of the Psycho franchise, a kill ranking. And this is going to be a lot of fun. I love the Psycho franchise. I didn't realize there's such little kills. For some reason, I thought there'd be more. Comment down below what your favorite kills are. You can give me all 17 or just a few of your favorite kills from the Psycho franchise. So coming at number 17 is Sister Margaret from Psycho 3. Basically, she just gets pushed down accidentally off a bell tower and goes, oh, falls down to the bottom. So it's pretty plain Jane. It's not too exciting. And it's just, even though with Psycho 3, it's a great little horror comedy, I do love it. This is easily the one that's most unmemorable. So that's why it sits at 17. Coming at number 16 is Mary Loomis getting shot in Psycho 2. Now, I do like I like the character of Mary Loomis, and you know, she just goes freaking mad at the end of this when she finds her mom dead and all the stuff that was conspired at the end there of Psycho 2, and then goes ballistic on Norman, and you know, the cops show up right at the right time, just shoot her. You know, it's okay. It's okay, but it's not one of the great kills in this franchise, I would say. Coming at number 15 is Josh from Psycho 2. So he's the kid in the basement, sneaks into Norman's house with his girlfriend, copping a feel, smoking some weed, and later do we know that this is Mrs. Spool. You know, he gets his hands like crunched by the window, and then he gets repeatedly stabbed. It's okay. It's a bit of a dark scene. Like low lighting, kind of hard to see because they wanted to keep the killer in the shadows and stuff like that. Not a terrible kill, but nonetheless, it's at 15. Coming at number 14 is Maureen from Psycho 3, where she falls down the stairs and hits her head on like a little arrow from this like angel's kind of statue. A little bit of a callback from the original Psycho with Arbogast, you know, falls down the stairs. Again, shit hits the fan in Psycho 3. People start dying everywhere, and she just, you know, for someone who wanted to commit suicide, it's kind of ironic that she ends up falling down the stairs and, you know, gets her brain punctured. You know what I mean? And, you know, she's falling for Norman. I don't think anybody's fell for Norman, so good for Norman. Again, too, another kind of like accidental death. So, yeah, Maureen at number 14. Coming at number 13 is Mr. Toomey, who runs the hotel in Psycho 2. Now, this character's kind of a disgusting character. This character keeps antagonizing Norman, and not a wise move, if you ask me. If I knew a serial killer was locked away and I was working at his hotel and he was back all these years later, I don't think I'd be insulting the man. But there we go. Again, Mrs. Spool getting some action, getting into the carnage, and she shows up and he's like, I guess he's sliced across the face, if I remember. You don't feel too much when this guy dies, that's for sure. Coming at number 12 is Holly from Psycho 4. So this is a flashback scene when Norman was younger and, you know, the fireworks are going off and he takes this girl up to his house and she's in his mother's room, and I like how that you actually see him in mother's outfit. And they kind of go, film it like the original shower scene where he's just, you know, like this, you know what I mean? Like that, and stabbing her. She gets stabbed repeatedly, and then he does that famous line again, you know, oh God, mother, blood, blood. So not a bad kill, you know, some blood in there and stuff like that. And they really tried to honor the original movie, which is kind of nice. Coming at number 11 is Red. That's all I know her as. I think she's just called Red in it. And this is, you know, Jeff Fahey's, you know, the girl he picks up from the bar in Psycho 3, takes her back, they shag, all that kind of stuff. He kicks her out and she gets killed in the phone booth, repeatedly stabbed, if I remember correctly. And, you know, it was pretty bloody. Like, Psycho 3 definitely went for more of the slasher, your typical slasher kind of kills. There are a lot of stabbings and stuff like that. She gets stabbed to death here. Again, a character who's just kind of set up just to kill. Now, from here on out, I really like all of these kills. Like, the top 10 here, I think are pretty good. And coming at number 10 is Dwayne Duke, played by Jeff Fahey in Psycho 3. First, it's like, watch the guitar, man. Norman busting a guy's head open with the guitar. And this is kind of an elongated sequence because he goes to drown him in the swamp. And he thinks he killed him. He's still alive. He's suffocated. He's in a plastic bag and all that. And then he ends up drowning, I believe. You know, they drive into the swamp and Norman ends up drowning him. We see Norman making mistakes, not always getting the job done, thinking people are dead and they're not. And things can go very wrong for Norman sometimes. He puts effort into it. He gets the job done, and Dwayne Duke gets hit over the head with a guitar and drowns. Coming at number 9 is Abergast from the original Psycho. Now, this is a really good kill because it's building of tension, and Hitchcock builds the tension really well, where we know he shouldn't be going in that house. He does anyway. And Norman dressed up as Mother kills him, and it has that classic falling down the stairs where he's falling, and then gets stabbed repeatedly, we presume. It's kind of off screen. I just really like the timing of the scene where he's coming up the stairs. You think, you know, Mother's going to come out when he reaches the door, but she comes out sooner than you expect. Hitchcock really playing the guessing game and playing with our mind and everything, and it's a great kill. Coming at number 8 is Gloria from Psycho 4. So this is the older woman that's making out with Norman in the car, and he says, my mom needs her medication. And he said, I'll be back. And he strangles her. You know, he strangles her, and again, he thinks she's dead, and she's clearly not. But the real disturbing part is that when he puts the car in and he sees it going down, she's banging on the freaking hood. You know what I mean? She's banging on the hood. And I always felt that was extremely disturbing, because there's this woman just sitting there drowning, asking for help and everything like that. So it always had a bit of a disturbing feeling to me. Coming at number 7 is Patsy Boyle. This is the girl on the John in Psycho 3 who gets her throat slit, which is really great effect, stabbed in the stomach. But I also call her the icebox girl, because there's kind of this comedic moment where, you know, apparently Norman hit her in the icebox, and the cop is questioning him and pulling ice out, and there's blood all over the ice cubes, and he's eating it. It's fucking gross, but it's pretty hilarious. Pretty hilarious thing. But that's a cool kill. You know, you get some really good you get some gore, you get some blood and stuff like that, and you get a bit of a comedic moment after. Coming at number 6 is Dr. Raymond. This is Norman Bates' doctor. He gets stabbed in the stomach. What's cool about it is he falls off the banister with the knife in his stomach. Then he lands on the handle and it goes more into him. It's a real creative kill where when you first watch, you're like, oh fuck, man. It's like, that's gotta hurt. But I always like that kill, and I think it's, you know, this creativity. It's all, you know, it was a really good creative way of, you know, killing someone. Coming at number 5 is Chet from Psycho 4. So this is Norman's mom's boyfriend. This is where we see Chet getting poisoned first, or at least the poison works on him first. I just think it's just an awful way to die, poison and everything. And I thought they did a good job of showing that he's puking and everything, but the guy just does not die easy, man. He's trying to kill Norman and everything with his last inch of his life, but this is another character who's just an asshole, man. Just an a-hole. So I didn't feel sorry for him. The mother, on the other hand, different story. In saying that, coming in at number 4 is Norma Bates, who gets poisoned in Psycho 4. Now, we have a huge build-up to this story of who Norma was, how she treated Norman, what happened, everything that goes on. There's a huge build-up to it. I guess what I like about this kill is the physical performance of Olivia Hussey. I just love her performance, and you know, and how he sits her up in that rocking chair and watches her die, take her last breath. And you know, we know from Psycho 1 that he put her there in the cellar when she's just a body. She's, you know what I mean? And it just really shows, wow, that's where she actually died, and that's where he keeps her sometimes. So Olivia Hussey's really, really good in this. I think he's really good in this movie, and I think she really shows how painful and everything it would be to die by poison, and just the anger, and you know, also the sadness. There's a lot of like, can't believe this boy did this to me. You know what I mean? So it's all in the performance, really. Coming at number 3 is Mrs. Spool from Psycho 2. Big, gigantic shovel to the head. This is kind of a really dark comedy kind of kill, because Norman comes up and he also poisons her too. He just didn't smack her over the head. He poisoned her first, right? And you know, she lays out this whole story where, you know, that actually I'm your mother, not Norma, and all this. And you know, it's just the way Anthony Perkins plays this out, man. He goes, "You sure you wouldn't like a sandwich?" or something like that. And he just smacks her on the head. You're almost laughing when he smacks her on the head. It's just the way Anthony Perkins' performance is and the tone they're going for, that unless I'm just messed up, man, I've always kind of laughed at that scene. I'm not sure if that was the intention, but I always have. It's just more of a dark comedy thing for me. Coming at number 2 is Lila Loomis, that knife through the mouth kill in the cellar. This is fantastic. They shoot it and very much an homage to Psycho 1 in the shower scene, kind of, where they do this close up of her screaming of her mouth. But man, when I was a kid, this kill just freaked me out, man. Something about a knife, a butcher knife, just going through your mouth and to the back of your head. It's, again, creativity, really creative. Character we're despising, actually, because Norman, for all intents and purposes, is better, and she's phoning him and all this kind of stuff and making it, pushing him over the edge of his insanity again. And you're like, why are you doing this to this poor man? Not that her death was like this satisfying thing. It's just that it was brutal. And there was another Mrs. Spool kill. Mrs. Spool really knows how to lay out the carnage. But easily at number 1, guys, is Maureen Crane, Psycho 1, the shower kill. I mean, what can be said that has not been said about this? I mean, to watch it now, all these years later, 60 plus years later, you got to just put in context what you're watching. No one saw something like this before. An actual person being butchered on screen, and the way Hitchcock filmed it, where you never see the knife touch the skin. It's really a lot of suggestion, theater of the mind kind of stuff. And when you don't see the knife ever touch the skin, but the way he cuts it and with the music, you think you're just seeing someone get butchered. It's so perfectly done with all the way it's shot. There's like a slow build as it starts, and then once he starts killing her, it becomes really fast paced with that music. And it's the score is perfect to what they're doing. And even after she dies, you're watching her die slowly, against the shower. You know what I mean? She goes for the shower curtain and she falls dead. And that shot of her eye and everything like that, and the transition with the water going down the drain, it really is perfect. It's just a perfect kill. It's probably between Tina's death and Nightmare on Elm Street and this, probably my 2 favorite kills of all time in horror. It really is fantastic. It's just a really perfect kill. And not only that, is that we think the whole time that Maureen Crane's the main character. So it's like, shit, you just killed our main character, but you're not realizing this is about Norman. And you don't even think it's Norman at this point. You think it's Norman's mother. And then we get that reveal at the end, and everything's like, holy crap, man. Just imagine watching this in 1960. Imagine how this all played out and what people may have been talking about after. It's such a great kill. I can't say enough about it. Number 1, Maureen Crane. So thank you very much, guys, for joining me on this kill ranking. This was a lot of fun going through all these kills from the Psycho franchise. So make sure you hit me up in the comments. Talk about all your favorite kills. We'll have a good discussion. And my name is Jason. You're watching Backtrack Cinema. I will see you next time, and I'll see you in the movies. Cheers.